Hi, this is Dr. Scott, and today we're going to do the next phase of our series, the video evidence of Nasara. But it is all about what has been going on. So the first one, if you haven't watched this whole series part, um, here's what you need to go back to. So you go back to where Clinton signed the law. You'd go into Bush and the World Trade Center issues, okay, 9/11. The next one would be Bush into Obama. The next one would be Obama, Bush, that pushes into the Trump win on Hillary. Okay, and then the next one that I already filmed. This is up. Should be up here. Um, I don't remember the exact date here that you're going to have it. Would be the 2020 timeframe, the election fraud of 2020. Now, what we're looking at today is going to be 2020 to 2022 kind of time frame. This is when we started to see the nuttiness of the Biden time frame. Now, one of the things that we kind of know in the background is that when Biden comes on the set, and I'm going to put him on the stage here, and I do say a set. Now, it's funny that there is on his left and your right. Now let me give you an acting kind of thing. Stage left is his left. You always would say it that way. Stage left. There is a picture that Trump would have had Andrew Jackson. I do not remember who Biden would say. By the way, if you know it in the comments, please comment. By the way, please like and subscribe because it really helps if you do that. Okay, it helps me a lot. But if you know in the comments who Biden put up the day that this happens. By the way, his stack of executive orders, he had said anyone who does a stack of executive orders. I'm fixing my lips here. He said anyone who signs a stack of executive orders would be a despot, right? And the funniest thing is that's exactly what he did on his first day. Now, the reason why there is a picture right here, I want you to see several things that are funnier than spit. There is a picture of a car right there behind him. This makes zero sense. There's no way any car should ever be behind him in the White House. This is a clue. It was definitely not the White House. There are 2 or 3 other potential White Houses. One is in LA, one is in Atlanta. It could be in some other particular place. We now know that they call it the AutoPen. How many of these were AutoPen? I mean, some people have actually looked at these that he wasn't signing anything at all, actually. So it's funny. It is on the day after that they're filming this. Okay. Now remember a couple things. The day he is in office, the White House. Now, you remember, he has 81 million people who voted for him. There are 1.89 million subscribers. And yet, there are only 70,000 people who watch. Okay, this is on YouTube. And yet, this is the last time that YouTube would ever see you show this particular thing. They stopped this issue in 2021 that there was only 1,200 people who actually put a thumbs up, but 8,800 people put a thumbs down. From this point on, they would not let you see the actual numbers people who put a thumbs down because there was an overwhelming number of people who had a thumbs down, which told you how fake many sites, and this isn't just about YouTube, this is about Rumble, this is about I mean, we could just say Rumble, Facebook, Twitter. Um, it doesn't matter which one. I mean, we could, any one of the sites, any one of the social media sites are so fake. One of the things that I truly believe when we go into the quantum financial system is that you're going to see sites wipe out all the bots because we're going to see an actual level of real members who are on this, not the fake bots that you can actually buy. See, all of these people buy this stuff. And so were there even 70,000 people that watched this? I don't think so. No one cared. That's the reality to this thing. No one wanted to watch it. And the number of 88,000 people 8,800 people who disliked it that was the true number of probably how many people. And then the 1,200 likes, some of it could be fake and some of it were real with that too. But it's very telling that the 81 million supposed fake voters was just absolutely overwhelmed. The number that we actually believe at this moment that were actually voted for Biden were around 20 million, not 81 million. Okay, funny things that are keep showing up on these issues. Now, Derek Johnson actually talks a lot about this. This is Biden, just one of the informational points that Biden comes out of the butt of the plane. Okay. I called it the tail end of the plane, but they call it the butt of the plane. This is, and it only took a long time before they actually got some level of military officers because everyone was making fun of it. Okay. And they had the seal of the president. They had to kind of do it. But was it really a plane right there? Because it's got a weird mirror or nothing right here. Okay. So they're really struggling when they're trying to fake this kind of stuff. There are whole loads of pictures I could show you. How much did he really do and how much did they fake? Okay. There were times he definitely was with world leaders, but not very many times was he really doing anything. And we know for a fact that as much as 40 to 45% of the time, the actor Joe wasn't ever really there. Okay. Now there is a time frame that he is. There is a race, and I didn't bring this in here. There is an auto race that happens, and I think it was a stock car race. It was in the South. And they're saying F Joe Biden over and over again. And it just goes around and around the racetrack. And the kind of creative reporter talks to the winner of the race. And she goes, they're just saying, let's go Brandon. And because that actually kind of comes up. And she says, let's go Brandon for the man who actually won the race. And it was funny because it was very, very creative of the reporter. Don't get me wrong. Very creative, the reporter, for saying, let's go Brandon. That became a calling card of the whole movement, right? Here's even Joe and this is at Christmas time, Joe and Jill not even knowing, maybe they did know. Maybe the actor did know that this was happening, but this is hysterical. This is showing you how much this is part of the movie with that.
All right.
I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Well,
Actual
I
call.
hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey,
Like, come on, man. He goes at the end, let's go, Brandon. Everyone who says, let's go, Brandon, knows what that means. It means screw you, basically. Okay, sorry to be rude here, but that's exactly what it's about. At the same exact kind of time frame, I had pulled a video and it kind of went around on my feed to this one here. Now tell me a time you've ever seen a president get into a red SUV and hold his own stuff. Now I want you to see it again. He's holding his own stuff, and he's getting in, like, what, LAX? I don't know exactly where that is. Chicago? Is that the actor, or is that really Biden? And guys, this is why you have to understand what you think you see and what you're getting mad about isn't what you're seeing. And I keep telling you, there are three main areas that come up. It's government, it's media, and it's Hollywood. They keep changing their things. For instance, just the other day, we're in July 5th, and just the other day, we saw Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had said all kinds of disparaging things about Trump, right? And disparaging comments about, the Republican side, who used to be very Republican, and ran as a Republican, won as a Republican for governor of California, and then he comes out and is on The View and totally runs the illegal citizen kind of conversations, the illegal immigrant conversation under the bus, and says, "Hey, listen, maybe you guys shouldn't be in this country illegally," kind of thing. It basically says it. And he keeps saying it over and over again. It's like they're weeds in a shifting wind here. Okay, this is how ridiculous the whole thing is, and they keep changing their thing. Fetterman, who was this ridiculous candidate, the dumbest candidate, sounds like the smartest one of the bunch. This is why you should not get stirred up by the idiots, even the people that are good. I get emails all the time. What do you think about the BBB bill? Okay, the big beautiful bill. And people are so stirred up by both sides of the argument, who get all upset about it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure it's really going to be good. Trump is behind it. I've looked into it. I know it's about Nasara. I promise you it's going to be okay. Guys, calm down. It's going to be fine. That's why I'm showing you this video evidence of the stupid around us. And by the way, Trump, during his time frame of being a candidate again in 2024, told us. Let's look at what he said.
Dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus.
Corrupt actors, rogue bureaucrats.
And there are plenty of them.
Rogue bureaucrats, corrupt actors. He's telling you without telling you. And if you don't sense it, that's why people don't actually hear what he's saying, because they're listening for him to say the exact words they want him to say, but he doesn't say it the same way. You see, here's a video of Biden when he was in Europe.
North Carolina. And he was a very conservative guy who was very, very... Oh my.
He's actually scratching the back of his neck, and he bends his mask.
Oh my gosh, that's a mask.
African American.
He bends it.
Holy cow.
He always had fight.
Well, the key to success.
In Belfast, right? So when you watch it
North
again,
Carolina. And he was a very conservative guy who was very, very...
Oh my gosh, that's a mask.
African American.
Holy cow.
He always had fight.
come on,
Well, the key to
guys.
success.
We need to kind of realize all the stuff that's around him. Now, I want to float out something that some of you are going to get like irritated with me, but I'm going to share something with you that might be relevant, and which is what I think is possible. Okay, So let's kind of show up something that some people have looked at. When we look at the this absolute fakery that comes up of Oswald, this is, I mean, everything that could be wrong about this picture is wrong. The way that the sun comes down, the way that, you know, the shadow hits in this direction versus the shadow going this way. I mean, there's nothing right about this. But Joe is at the basic same age, this basic same overall structure, could have been in Dealey Plaza at the same overall time frame. There's so much weird evidence about the possibility of him, including some of these pictures that don't actually seem exactly right. We know that President Poppy Bush was there. We know so many people were involved in this. Let me tell you all the people who actually were involved in the JFK shooting issue. And you'll be startled with this, okay? There are 3 main presidents that are involved in this, and actually a 4th in a little bit of a distant way. Number 1 president, we know for a fact, actually 2 main presidents we know for a fact. Number 1, Poppy Bush, is stipulated to be there by the FBI, stipulated by the FBI. They've said he was there in Dallas on that day. His evidence for why he was in Dallas, everyone in the world can tell you exactly where they were. For instance, at 9/11, when the buildings are hit, they know exactly what happens to them. Or if you're thinking about Columbine shooting or another kind of world event, you know what happened because like time stops still. The same exact kind of thing happens for people who were very much alive and very awakened by the moment that they heard that JFK was killed. And yet, Barbara Bush and Poppy Bush both have confusing statements related to that day. They come up with different things about what they would say about it. And yet he's potentially out front of Dealey Plaza and the book depository building. We also know that President Ford, actually Congressman Ford at the time, is inside of the report that is given out to President Johnson of the time frame. So we have this ridiculous CIA report that comes out, and it's done by future President Ford. We also know that Hillary is part of Whitewater, not even just a little bit later. So she has a little bit of a distant thing, and she was fired by Whitewater. So she's got a distant relationship in that circumstance too. And then here's the possibility out there. What if Joe Biden was actually part of the shooting? What if he was part of the shooting team? And you might go, okay, that's just too far. That's a bridge too far. But I'm telling you, it would be exactly like the deep state to pay him back for the possibility of that. And that's the kind of stuff I would say that's going on. Now, and why would I come up with that stuff? Because here's the other point here. Trump has stipulated a couple things, and we still haven't seen all this stuff. We still haven't seen the Epstein files. We still haven't seen all the CIA files that should have shown up about JFK. We've seen some of them. They keep leaking it out a little bit at a time. And we still haven't seen the flood of this. The big, beautiful bill signed yesterday as I'm talking to you, but yesterday is a powerful flood that I believe that kind of comes out for all this stuff. But do we start finding out about some of this stuff? And then this is a few months ago, this actual report kind of shows up as well.
Is GITMO still open? Are there any illegal immigrants who have been taken to Guantanamo Bay today, or has that prison been closed?
No, it's wide open. GITMO is open. There are a number of foreign terrorist aliens that are being housed at GITMO, awaiting final removal to
Foreign terrorist aliens. Now, you might say, well, yeah, we knew about that, that Iraqi terrorists, other, I mean, maybe even, terrorists like the ones, the illegals that are in there, the MS-13. Well, yeah, that's possible. But think about who might be there.
another destination. But what I want to be very
Can
clear on,
you tell me how
Bill,
many?
No, I cannot. That's operationally sensitive
Is it
information.
dozens or more?
It's a large number. The exact number is operationally sensitive to do with military and other considerations relating to the security of those who are there and the security of those who are operating the facility. But I want to be very, very clear about this, Bill. We've been living through a hoax. Nobody was mistakenly sent to El Salvador. He was ordered deported from this country in 2019. He's an illegal alien. His home nation is El Salvador.
Kilmar, by the way.
That is where he belongs.
We keep seeing this information. See, and they're talking about, he doesn't even want to get into the Kilmar kind of case. He wasn't illegally sent to El Salvador. He was legally sent to El Salvador. The point is they bring up, GITMO as a sidelong statement. And I say to you, that, we've been finding out more recently is that many in Congress and Senate aren't even real citizens of America. Do you understand that we might actually find out many more of them actually have dual citizenship, and maybe they are citizens of Israel or Iran, or pick the nation that they're really part of, and we didn't know about that from time immemorial? What if we find out that they have crimes against humanity? You're going to find so much more evidence, and this kind of stuff, you just got to say, listen, this is a time that's unprecedented, and you're seeing this kind of stuff play forward. Just even, my wife and I were just talking today. We're walking through an outlet mall, and we were just talking back and forth. And last year, around the same time frame, 24, Jaguar decided to put forward an idiot ad. And it was all a transgender ad. The whole thing was just this, this pink, red, purple, whatever, kind of ad. Nothing to do with cars. Just be different. Nothing to do with cars. Like, okay, don't you want to talk about a car? I mean, Jaguar is a very specific brand. Think about Jaguar for just a minute. Jaguar is a brand. Jaguars are $100,000 cars and beyond. Okay, so you're talking about people that have to be in the highest tier of capabilities, of monetary capabilities. Okay, so you're talking about a very specific. Now, if you're talking about like getting the Toyota Prius or whatever, maybe I could understand it. But they went after the Jaguar brand. And in April of 2025, they were down 97% in sales. Do you think that's like on accident? I know for a fact that people inside of the military and side of the white hats are pushing the idiots to move forward. Yeah, push forward. Do the woke brands. And they're making them do things that they've never thought about doing. They're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's exactly what we should do. And they're pushing forward all their chips like they're on a roulette table, and there's no way that they're going to win everything, but they're going all in. And you're like, don't do it. Don't do it. My son and I'll leave you with this last story. My son and I were playing Texas Hold'em with the friends. And all we do is just, we keep it at a $5 minimum kind of thing, right? And I'm dealt with pocket aces. I mean, I've never had pocket aces in my life, right? I'm sitting there and I'm trying to be coy. Most people in the table, most people, they're pretty green at this, they're young guys, and there's an ace that drops, and I don't have a lot in on the table. So I'm betting a little bit more. I've got several people that have bet a little bit harder, right? And I'm just trying to be coy. I'm trying to be coy, and but I'm betting harder. And some other people are betting harder too. So there's a lot now on the table, right? And then they drop it. They drop another ace, and I don't remember when it is. But now I got 4 aces. There are 2 aces out there. And someone else must be having, 2 aces and 2 kings. I don't even know what he had. I didn't care what he had because there's no way he's going to beat me, right? And so it's down to another guy and I. Michael and I, and I'm just like, don't do it. And he finally goes all in. And everyone looks at him and goes, don't do it, dude, don't do it. And, of course I'm going to do all in as well. And he's going to lose. And I finally had to throw the cards because I had to show it how amazing of a hand it is. The reality is that with the Jaguar thing, with all of these woke things, they're going all in, and there's no way they can possibly win. They keep doing it, and they keep losing every single time. They keep showing their hand, and you're going, there's no way you can win on this. You have to be kind of excited every single time you go into this, guys. You got to be calm, though, because there are things that are pissing you off. And I'm trying to build up your faith. I'm like the lawyer that's sitting beside you going, I know we're going to win. You just got to be calm because we've got the winning hand here, okay? So we're going to have one more, and the next one is going to be about 2022 all the way to 2024. So like and subscribe, ask for notifications so you can kind of be notified about what's coming up. Thanks so much.